Hey everyone, welcome back to this part of the podcast. I know I just gave you a brief introduction, but I'm going to reiterate here this concept of a farm and why it's so incredibly powerful in the world of referrals. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, by all means, stick to this. This is going to be a great one. This is going to give you some numbers to think about. And for those of you, I will provide a link on the show notes to where I'm putting this on my YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're a YouTube listener, you can go ahead and watch it on YouTube. But the idea of a farm, and this is a concept, a word that came up literally on a call last Friday. This is early September 2025. And I was talking with one of my peers in a mastermind. Ever heard talking about that? I run a peer mastermind. I also go and pay to be a part of a peer mastermind. You've heard me talk about that countless times. So we were talking about concepts of how, your average Main Street business, just like you guys, can use strategies to generate interests, to generate activity, and then to generate revenue, right? So, and if you guys remember, I'm sure you guys have done ads or at least talked to someone who's done ads, and they tell you, we can do every door direct mail, and we'll get you in front of 50,000 people, and which is great. Or we can do ads and Google ads or Facebook ads, and we can get you in front of 5,000 people a day, which is great. And you should all means use them as a part of your strategy. As we talk about the so-called Parthenon or pillar effect, where you have multiple channels of your customer acquisition, customer retention, customer referral strategies going all the time. It is not just one thing. The scariest number in business is one source of ads, one source of one source of traffic, one source of referrals, one source of whatever is scary, right? In political cycles, Facebook's expensive. Google Ads changes their algorithms where it used to rank for search engine SEO. Now it's AEO. And so there's all kinds of things that are changing. But what doesn't change, why do I love farming? Is because you have relationships. You build relationships with actual people who serve the same client as you, but they're not competitors. So every one of you, doesn't matter the business. I've done this in hundreds of businesses, right? So it doesn't matter the business. There are people that serve your same client in different ways that are not competitors. So if your business is serving homeowners of homes of over $2 million in a certain geography, I guarantee you they're going to be affected or they're going to be touched by other parts of people in the community, right? So if you think about that demographic, let's just use this because it's easy, and those are numbers I can talk about because it's a part of our business. So who else is doing business with owners of $2 million homes in a certain geography? Well, certainly there are the wealth planners, because those guys have relationships with high net worth individuals. So if you don't know them, you should know them and hang out with them. I would imagine they have regular landscaping, they have cleaning, they have certainly they have realtors if you're on the front end of the transaction, like we do in our design business. There would be architects who would be designing the structures for people. So if you think about our design business, right? So I'm gonna change the color. So if you think about me talking about our design business, who else could do that? One of the places we find places are building managers, because why? Because we do a lot of work in condos. It's kind of a pain, but we have a strategy that does commercial. We get to know the building managers. We make it easy for them to do business with us. And then we want to do business with people who buy units in those buildings. So again, there's an idea, an example of like who they would want to do that. Say, Bryan, that sounds great. How do I do that? Do the numbers work? You're in luck. So, and just to reiterate, ads still work. You got to go through your numbers, right? You need to know your client acquisition costs. No difference in referrals, but the math is a little different. So I'm not going to talk about client acquisition costs. You should be talking about that with your agency partners. I am not an agency partner when it comes to that kind of stuff. We very much live in the referral space. In fact, if you listen to one of the earlier episodes, they told me you cannot build a 7-figure business on referrals. And I said, haha, well, we have one. So how can I tell you that it's not possible? Because that's true and true and true. That is the business that we have across all of our business lines. So there you go. So how does that work? All right, so let's talk about this. So how do we get a hold of, so where do we do this? So let's just talk a little bit about the numbers, right? So I'll share with you some numbers of some projects we're working on right now. So let's just say we start first, we got to build out a list. So if you think about the idea here is we have to build out our list, right? The list does not need to be massive. One of the things that we do in one of our programs, we call Referral Team Pro, is we have a list that is manageable and it's only 250 people. So you've heard me talk about the Dream 100. Absolutely. Sometimes you need a little more, right? So the Dream 100, it could be a long-term strategy to talk to people. But if you start with a list of 250, and for crying out loud, you can start with a list of 25, right? You can start with a list of 10. Everyone can get a list of 10. A list of 1, that's no good. We're going to put a big red X through 1. 1 is no good. 1 is a random act of marketing. We want to create systems and processes to help us build a list, right? So who should be on the list? Well, we went back. Let's just use the same example. If we talked about wealth planners, landscapers, high-end cleaning companies, realtors, architects, and building managers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't tell me that you don't know one of each one of those categories in your community. Now you need to find out who else services your same customer segment. And guess what? They're not going to be willing to share with you who they're working with right away. It is a two-way street. It's got to go both ways. Whoops. It's got to go both ways, right? It's got to go both ways. You have to be able to give in order to get. So how do you do that? Well, first thing, let's find the list. So obviously where you're going to do it, you're going to go on Google. You're going to go on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook to see who's talking about your stuff. You're going to go on Instagram. You're going to be in the community. So wherever you get those lists, right? Wherever you get those, start with 1, get 10. I always tell people, if you talk to 1 or 2 people a day, 2 people a day, there are 20 working days in the average month. That means you will talk to 40 people a month. That is a very manageable, doable thing. If you cannot find time to reach out to 2 people a day, you should go get a job. 2 people a day, that's 5 to 10 minutes worth of work. It's a text message, it's a handwritten note, there's a million things you can do, right? It's hopefully better than an email. Anything's better than an email, but it's better than nothing, right? So how do you do that? So anyway, so we want to talk about who those people are. So we're going to assume for this exercise, and I'm going to use some numbers from a real project we're working on. So out of the 250 people, let's just say over 90 days, because you've done a great job of the 250 people, and this is a real number, it's just easier. 250 people, you've done a great job reaching out and touching them, right? You're reaching out and touch them on how. You're going to talk about email. You're going to send them on socials, right? Because these are great guys, and you're going to have a great offer. And if you don't have a great offer, you should reach out to us, and we can help you with that. You're going to send them some type of physical thing, right? Because these are great relationships. You're going to send them. It's going to be all about giving, right? So how does that work? Well, we're gonna go through those things right here in a second. So when you think about those components, they're not all want to buy on your selling cycle. Wait, I want to say that again. People do not buy just because you want to sell. I'll say that a third time. People don't buy the same time you want to sell. When you do referral relationships and have referral relationships with clients and prospects, you have to realize that it may take you some time to build those out. And let's just say, this is a real example. Let's just say that your customer is worth $7,500, right? So this is revenue, not profit. You guys manage your numbers, insert your own things, right? Let's just say your average customer deal is $7,500, and you are trying to get to some revenue number. I don't know if it's 300,000, if it's 500,000, it's $1 million, whatever the number is, right? You're trying to do that. So you're running ads to do your business and to create transactions. But here's the referral bonus. So, all right, so if we have a list, and I'll use a number, let's just say we can put 6 people a month into our relationship system. And in 3 months, we'll have 18 people that love us, right? 18 people. Who are they? They're wealth planners, they're building managers, right? So 18 sounds manageable, right? Again, that's 1 person a day you keep in contact with. 1 single person every single freaking day. You can find 5 minutes. You can find 2 minutes. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to exist because nobody in your market will do it. So if we go to wealth planners, building managers, architects, builders, right? And you make your messages all about them, not you. And then they get to know you as a person because they want to build a relationship, right? They want to build an absolutely fantastic relationship. Okay. So let's just say your average deal is 7,500. Well, are they going to give me that a month? Well, I don't know. But out of the let's just say out of the 250, the 18 people that are interested, what if two gave you one opportunity? Or what if half of them gave you one opportunity a month? That's 9 at $7,500. What's that math work out to be? So if you have 9 customers giving you opportunities for $7,500, do the math. Let's do the math real quick. I got to switch gears here. 7,500 average deal times 9 every month. That's $68,000, 68K. And let's just assume that you can close 50%, 40%, 60%. In my world, you better be closing 90% because they're already relationships. My experience has shared with me that when you have really good relationships and really good, let's just assume half. That's 33,750 times 12. That's 4. Your ad spend, now you're at $1 million business. Back to super simple math. By the way, this is totally doable. Client on. And here's the beauty of it, right? So out of this 18 relationships from this is just from basically 6 appointments, 6 live in-person conversations every month. Guess what? Also, what I didn't tell you, this is the beautiful part. I love this, is that another 40 or 50 people have raised their hands and said, I'm interested, but I'm not ready to buy. So if you're interested and you're not ready to buy, does that mean you don't want to do that? No, it means that they're not ready to buy. So you have to help manage them. So again, 6 relationships, 6 people giving you 3 opportunities a month, the mix and match, right? So, whatever you have to do to get to this, whatever number, did it go? Oh, there you go. And my little circle thing didn't work. And those numbers are, that helps. I've episode. So I wanted to break down the mechanics of why referral relationships for the average sub-$1 million home services business works. And oh, by the way, the math is identical for large companies. So if you're a $20 million, $10 million service provider, your numbers are identical. The difference is going to be for those folks is you are going to be spending more money on ads than anything else. That is going to be your primary customer acquisition source in my experience. And that's okay because you have the money. When you get to $1 million, that's when you know enough about your client buying journey to do that. What happens is when you're small and you're starting out, you have one channel that works for a while and then it doesn't. And then you stop doing it, or you get successful and then you stop doing it because you're too busy. I'm just here to say, you don't need to do that. These referral relationships are incredibly powerful. And then you have more control of the cadence of how you acquire those clients. And a couple things. Let's just think about this for 1 second. I know what you're thinking. I'm the owner. Whoops. I'm the owner. So why should I do this myself? Could somebody else do it? Absolutely. If you're the owner, you want to pass those relationships on to your relationship managers. And if you're a relationship manager, you should hand those down to your inside, they call them SDR, sales development reps, or inside people, because guess what? You can still manage that. So these relationships can pass, because I can tell you my relationships, how I work, is I typically work owner to owner. That's what happens. I'm working with that. But it doesn't mean my folks don't, maybe it's an operations manager, maybe it's a sales manager, whatever. So they work on our team to make their life easier. So these relationships really do progress time. And who doesn't want to do business with people they like? I can tell you that probably 90% of every client I've had over the last 25 years, even if we've ended the relationships, because there have been situations where we've ended relationships or they haven't worked out or there was a change or needs changed or whatever. Um, I still think incredibly highly of them, and I would have no hesitation to refer them new business in the future, regardless if it they refer business to someone without any expectations. Word of warning there. There are people that are going to be takers, right? Just refer one-way streets, right? Realize that if you have true relationship people that are truly doing business with your perfect clients, right? People that are actually dealing with them, they're going to be looking good if you make them look good, right? What's the number one reason why people don't refer? Is because what if they screw up, right? So in the B2B world, that's how you have to do that. Now, we'll talk in later episodes about how to make that easier and simpler. And we'll also talk in other episodes why customers don't ever do it, or if they do, it's always the wrong person, unless someone specifically asks, right? And why take a chance? This is removing all the chance out of it, right? Because what do we do with these 6 people? Well, we got a plan, right? And so the plan is something we coach on. I think I'm putting an online training available to what do you do with those 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 people? You don't need to be the greatest marketer in the world. You just have to be you. And when you're you and you have some secret sauce, I got lots of secret sauce. When you're you and you have your secret sauce, you can build a great business. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being a part of this journey on the Driveway Marketing Podcast. And I look forward to having you guys on an episode coming soon to you